That's the same question that was asked. What makes you better than Brian and Achut? How better are you than Brian? How better are you than Achut? Specifically.
As I said, I've experienced leadership. So I don't know about the two, but I've learned that the qualities of leadership, and also when it comes to academics, I'm better than them, and also when it comes to leadership, I'm better than them. Yeah.
Okay, what are the major changes you would like to see in our school?
First, I'll start with the diet. Mostly the diet don't. Mostly in the diet you don't have vitamins like fruits. Unakula like maragwe na rice throughout the week, and there are no vitamins. So that's why most of the students napata kwa na homa, tumbo stuff. And also, I like to change the mixture of ugali and cabbage with uji in one day. The combo that doesn't suit our stomach, you know. And also, most of the, and also I like to change the time management. The way the cleaners come and clean our classes, and also cleanliness, like within their class.
If you only clap once kindly, don't pick the demas on something. Celeste is asking questions.
Alright, I'm going to use your answers to ask you questions on the same. So the first one you said you've experienced leadership for the longest time, around 6 years.
Yeah.
So what really makes you think the leadership you experienced was a good kind of leadership? In your thinking, you've experienced, right? But how can you convince us that the leadership that you've experienced, you were on the right side and not the other side? Because you can be in the leadership position, but not in the right side, as per what it's supposed to be.
Okay. But there to my teacher that done it. She taught me respect and this. That's why I say I'm fit for.
Can you cite to us some of the experiences that have shown that even you, when you're outside the leadership position, you will abuse you?
Some of them.
Cite for us some of the instances that show that you're a good leader, even when you're not in that position.
Like, still as case I wasn't a leader, but I've been able. Okay, I've been able to solve conflicts, and yeah, that's the only thing I've been able to. Aside from being a leader.
Alright. You talked about the issue of meals, the issue of cleaning time, and some other issues. But what happens in an instance whereby the school administration fails to honor your grievances as compared to what you wish to do for the other manners? And also, are you aware that for those things to happen, they involve a chain of a series of meetings and a chain of management, right? So, are you in a position whereby you can change it on your own? Can you convince the school enough? Because it has to involve a lot of hierarchies of the thing.
Not really, because of the project, they are balancing their finances.
So you're not in a position to convince them.
Not that much, but when I sit and analyze with them, I can and understand their side, and then they understand my side. I think we can.
Okay. On the issue of competence, are you aware academics and competence in leadership cannot be in one line? You can be good in academics. That doesn't make you a better leader than the others. So, because you can have, even in our national politics, we've seen good leaders who are not competent enough in class, but outside there, they are competent. So how are you going to convince us? Because to me, I'm not convinced by the fact that you're good in academics makes you a better candidate than them.
Can you just repeat the last question?
I've said, you being good in academics doesn't make you a better candidate than Brian and Ashut, right? Because class competence and leadership competence are not in one line. So I think you should give us a better thing to bring out your competence in leadership more than academics, because they don't go and do that all the time.
For me, you see, I can't compare myself with leadership academics. But you know that's tricky. I understand why you make the mistake.
So you now understand that you can academically you can be gifted and you can be a good leader, right? So it doesn't make you really a better candidate than you.
I want to go back to the first, His Excellency Brian Locho. Stop joking with your friend there, because for the trade, Travis is making you lose marks if you don't know. And you start crying tomorrow that you lost marks, but they are very keen watching on you, looking at you, joking there, you lose marks. So Travis, please don't disturb the president's husband so that he gets his marks, please. Okay? You concentrate, please. Stop being funny and making some jokes here, or we cancel you and we delete you from the next time you make it, we'll delete you from the company. So take care. Madam Lucy, you have come and you have not questioned Excellency. Kindly, you have a question for her?
Hi, Faye. My question is how you about your leadership. How will you ensure that all they feel represented by you?
David?
How will you ensure that all the pupils feel represented by you or by the leadership?
They feel represented.
That you as a president, you're not presenting, you are representing the world.
First, just listen to the opinions and stuff, and we'll collaborate.
Nitakuulizia swali moja tu katika lugha ya Kiswahili, alafu nikupe muda tu kumua, kwa sababu tunatumia lugha mara mbili, kuna lugha ya Kiswahili na lugha ya Kiingereza ambayo siku ya Jumatatu sana sana sisi huwa katika parade ya assembly kwa sababu ya matangazo ya walimu, na mara kwa mara umesikia ya kwamba walimu wakisema ya kwamba wavulana wakate nywele shoti zitoshane vizuri, na kuna wanafunzi wengine ambao hawajakata nywele mpaka leo hii, na hata wakiambiwa mara milioni moja hawatasikia. Pili, kuna wanafunzi grade ya 9 wanaweza lala wakati wowote kwa sababu ya kukosa nidhamu, wanasinzia darasani na wanalala. Wewe ni shahidi wa mambo haya. Kwa bahati nzuri ya kwako, neema imetosha na umefunguliwa ya kwamba wewe ndiye rais wa shule hii. Hebu jieleze mbele ya kamati hii teule na uelezee wale ambao hawanyoi nywele, mifano yao unawajua, na nywele zao zinakaa shahlabahla ambazo hazijasukwa na hata hazijakuwa katika mtindo unaostahili wa kulaza mlazo. Utawafanyia nini? Pili, utafanyia nini wale wa grade ya 9 ambao husinzia sana sana darasani wakati wote mwalimu anapofunza?
For the boys who don't cut their hair, we'll assign punishment until the day they learn to adapt to the rules. Those who are sleeping, we'll also assign punishment. That's what Shabrani does in class. Like during lunchtime, after we're beaten, usually run 6 laps in order to keep us energized.
Kwa hivyo inamaanisha watakuwa wanakimbia ndio wasilale. Lakini tuchukue mfano ni saa 4, saa 5 ama saa 3 asubuhi. Mwalimu ameingia na akianza kufunza, wengine wanaketi kwenye nyuma kufanya mazoezi ya kwamba wanauma na vichwa. Kumbe hata vitu haviumi ama haviwani. Wanafanya vituko vyao. Wengine wanalala usingizi kabisa. Sasa mwalimu dakika 40. Mwalimu kutoa dakika 40. Ukosefu wa adabu kama huu utashughulikia namna gani?
So the same will still assign punishment for them.
Kama hivi.
Sweeping the classes after lunch, taking the dustbin where they deposit the trash, and also collecting litter around the school.
Naomba kumzisha kidogo lakini kwa excellence kidogo. Ongeza kwa makofi. Mwalimu Faith anaulizia excellency Malik swali.
Okay, what qualities should a leader have? And which one do you have? Okay, the qualities a good leader should have. And which one do you have? Okay, a good leader should be able to communicate with their fellow learners, which I'm able to. And a good leader should have respect. Respect other learners and also the teachers, because you are assigned as the school president to be a role model to others. So if the president isn't respectful, which means the other learners will also follow. So you only have to focus.
Okay, so I'm also obedient and kind-hearted. I help those who need the ones who have some issues and they aren't able to approach teachers. Since I said that I can be able to communicate with the learners and make them feel comfortable, they could just come and explain it to me and I can be able to explain it.
Mwalimu Yakobo anakuuliza swali.
That's the same question I asked. What makes you better than any other candidate that you are the best now for the president of
Okay, I don't think I'm better than anyone because everyone is better than someone else in their own way.
What changes are you aspiring to bring in our school if you are elected?
I would say equality for all the learners to treat other learners equally, especially the class governors to not see themselves better than the other students because they're the class governors.
Any other thing? Only one.
Okay, love for each other, not that way.
Continue.
The friendship of loving each other like sisters and brothers, treating each other equally, not if they're Kenyans and I'm from South Sudan, so someone else makes not like me because I'm from another country. And ages,
you know, some people, not all the class, everyone, like their age mates. There's some who are older and some who are younger. So like they will be like saying the person is older and the person is older. So if, let's say, if the person is older and they like don't perform well in academics, they'll always be like, okay, I'm younger than you, and I have more knowledge than you, and you're older. That's not right.
Alright, there's something that you said I would love to, because for you to say that, I think you maybe have experienced that. For example, you said you are carrying one of the learners to practice, you said you are carrying the other learners to have each other, right? And you cited issues of maybe age discrimination, but also cited maybe people don't love you because you're from a different region. So is this something that you've experienced, or you've seen that the former students in government paying the next?
Okay, so like I've experienced it because in my former school, they didn't like used to treat each other equally. Okay, so just because I'm black, they will always be like telling me that you're black and like brown and saying stuff like being black being good.
Okay, we are all black. I bet you make us feel that.
Yeah.
Alright, let me ask my question. So, students often complain but ignore the school rules. How will you bring out the difference between, how will you balance the difference, how will you balance discipline versus freedom? Because they often complain but not doing their side when it comes to discipline. They misuse their freedom. What happens? How will you bring in the balance between those two?
Okay, so I would say I'll find like a free time and like the learners who complain, sit and talk to them, like listen to their part of the story, and like listen to their part of the story and see where the problem is. If the problem is actually with the learners or it's just them being lazy. Try to find a solution.
So, please answer my question. How will you bring the balance between discipline and freedom? Maybe you can give me an instance to help you extract the answer from there. For example, we have an issue that Shamini has clarified and said an issue about shaving, right? So most of the times we tell students to shave their hair but they don't adhere to that, right? So they misuse the freedom we give them, and in that time of misusing the freedom comes in these situations. You understand? Because once you tell someone shave your hair, and that's like that, 3 times it becomes an issue with discipline, not an issue with freedom. So how will you balance that?
Okay, like give like the most in discipline. I'll give them a punishment that the others will be able to see. So next time they won't do the same thing.
Do you have the powers to deal with the punishment?
Okay, not that kind of punishment that much, but the power, the punishment I'm gonna give you is like the one that is able to balance it with power.
The question I want to ask is, how would you balance the academics and the leadership?
in classes there are subject teachers, so like I offer to help them. And while I'm teaching the others, I'm also learning something, and that can help me with my academics.
You as a candidate, you are much represented. So how do you balance that you don't consider too much on being a president and yet you need to also learn since you still need to perform well? How will you balance that?
I can make time for myself on Saturdays and like a few hours on Sundays to like recover what was taught maybe while I wasn't there.
I think your question.
Yeah.
We have 9 minutes maybe to end the debate. So therefore, sit down and relax. A lot of understanding. The first question, a lot of comes. Have you ever found yourself in a mistake?
Yes.
Which mistake did you find yourself in and how did you solve it?
So when I was in grade 8, I was caught in a relationship with this.
You are caught in a relationship. That definitely means and why at least you were caught in a relationship. So you are caught in someone. What's that? Very well, very well. Now, by God's grace to become the President of the Republic of SK, I went to court.
Who am I?
You court attire for the first time. So, by God's grace to become the President of the Republic of SK, who am I going to have a relationship with now? Now, after having that relationship, how do you solve it?
We had a talk with my class teacher and the teacher Chapita. And not we had a talk. I went and had a talk with myself concerning the case. First of all, I had a talk with Chabran one day outside concerning a different case that I was involved in. And I realized that if I continued acting this way, I wouldn't be taking myself anywhere. There's an incident where I came to call the date land using the nation now. I came to call him, I came to insult him. I came to call him a slap. So as I did that, Chabrani came and sat me down and questioned why I did that. And I explained her the reason. And I came to the end it was foolish for doing that because not everyone was raised the same and not everyone came from the same background. And ever since that day I tried changing myself. And back to the story of relationships.
Now, supposing you find a student of the same having a relationship in your class, you said you have changed that. And as we have changed, change is also good in somebody's life. Why is your class most of the time those who are sleeping and they're not even cutting their hair down, and you know that?
As multiple teachers have pointed it out, most learners in the design, they have a negative attitude to, like, not subjects, it's towards the teachers. Personally, I wouldn't say I have a hate to any teacher or an attitude to any teacher personally. But in class, they treat teachers with a sort of grading because of the way they teach or because of the way they picture them in their heads. Because everyone has a way they see someone.
just because Travis acts this way in front of him, I'll see him this way. So everyone has an image stuck in their head. And some in the class we are very arrogant, and at the age we are at, it's obvious. And
Okay. Now the last question for you. Nitazungumza katika lugha ya Kiswahili sasa, na kama rais atakayechaguliwa kwa bahati nzuri ya kwako, ya kwamba ni siku ya Ijumaa na umeambiwa ya kwamba siku ya Ijumaa ni siku ya Kiswahili, kwa dakika moja toa hotuba yako ya dakika moja ya Kiswahili yenye sentensi 5 ambayo haiko na sarufi kama rais wa shule.
Jambo wanafunzi.
Huwezi toa hotuba katika lugha ya Kiswahili siku ya Ijumaa, na tufanye mfano katika shule zingine, na tumefika pale alafu inasemekana daraja wote hapa viongozi ambao katika lugha ya Kiswahili, utawaambia huwezi. Utawaambia huwezi.
Sitaongea siwezi. Nitakapokuja kwa tuseme nichaguliwe mwalimu, nitakuja kujifunza elimu. Sisi I won't say I'm the best at Kiswahili. I'm not as fluent as in Kiswahili as in English. So personally, it's improvement. Everyone starts somewhere. So improve on my Kiswahili that
Okay. Mwalimu sasa anakuulizia swali.
I don't know if it's the appropriate time to ask this, but can you please outline for us the manifesto that you have? No, you should be. You're vying for the president, right? You should be having your manifesto ready because we are just a day. Actually, less than 48 hours before we get to the day of election. And you don't have, what are you selling to them? What have you been selling out there? So you have to tell us your manifesto, what do you have?
so once I become the president, as a student, I won't have a lot of power to change a lot of things in the school, but I'll try my best.
Remember, it's not always about changing. Yeah. Sometimes it's about spearheading what has been there, not